Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing this early 2000s G-Wagon. This is a 2003 G500 and it is lifted a little bit. It's got some bigger tires. It's a really cool build. I think you guys will like it. But in today's video, I want to answer the question, should you get one of these instead of a pre-owned Wrangler? Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Warner Ineos Grenadier for giving me some time with this G-Wagon. They sell the new Ineos Grenadiers, but they also get a lot of really cool pre-owned inventory traded in on those Grenadiers. So check out their website, ask for Corey if you have any questions. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a 5-liter V8 that goes through a 5-speed automatic transmission. It puts out 292 horsepower and then 336 pound-feet of torque. This engine is legendary because of its reliability. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So this, of course, has the classic G-Wagon appearance. You've got the hood that's separated from kind of like the rest of the fender section here. It's really cool looking. And then, of course, you got the turn signal indicators there up top. And this has the classic look with the orange turn signal indicators. And then you can see the white backgrounds of the lights, well, silvery white. We actually have fog lights on this. And overall, it's a G-Wagon. Now when it comes to the tire and wheel setup, it's 33 by 12.5 by 18 in the front and over in the rear. And you've got those classic Mercedes wheels in silver, which actually look really cool. But these are pretty aggressive tires. And then here's a quick look. It looks like we've got upgraded suspension and everything. Again, like I said, this is lifted. I don't know the lift on the G-Wagon. We'll basically just see how well it drives. This generation of G-Wagon had a solid axle still, unlike the new one. You can see it's actually painted there with the fender flare. You got the cool V8 badge. And look at this stance. And by the way, solid rear axle, that's why you guys probably guessed that. But I think it looks really sharp. It's not too big of a lift where it's just obnoxious, but it's enough that it makes it look more aggressive. Now this is when Mercedes had this key fob, which yeah, it's interesting. It actually had, you know, keyless entry with the lock and unlock. And this leads us to the first cool G-Wagon handle. Of course. Now the swing gate here is pretty heavy with that larger spare tire, but you guys can see here with the kind of like trim, and you got the handle there, and it looks like, actually no, that's not even a, yeah, so it just looks like it's probably the stock tire. But anyways, there is, well, quite a bit of space. It's shocking to see how little has changed on the G-Wagon over the years with everything. I have no clue what this is all about, but I imagine it has something to do with storage for off-road, because it's off-road build. But regardless, yeah, G-Wagon storage space. And again, a little bit heavier, but not too bad. Now finishing things up with the rest of the rear, you've got the classic taillights there at the bottom. You got a receiver hitch as well, spare tire cover, which, yeah, looks kind of interesting with the aftermarket tires and everything. And I'll include as many of these as I can in the video. Such a cool sound. Now take a look at the door panel in the rear. I love this from the early 2000s when they did leather like this. And then you can see the soft touch down below. You can see how well it's actually held up over the years. Like, obviously there's some wear and tear. This has over 100,000 miles on it. But this holds up a lot better than a lot of the newer stuff. Now getting in is a little bit of a process. You gotta make sure you don't skip leg day, because you gotta step up pretty high. But legroom, once you're in here, it's actually pretty good. Got a little storage pocket. We got vents here in the rear as well. And then headroom back here with the boxy design is solid. Now take a look at the front door panel, same thing with that design. You have power windows with this. And then we've got memory seats, look at that, memory seats, and you got your power seat adjustments. And here's the front seat. Again, this is the seat with the most wear. We're gonna have the most wear. And again, it looks pretty dang nice. It's held up really well over the years. You got stuff like your light controls here. You've got power mirror adjustments back in 2003. That's crazy. And then it's even got soft touch trim on the dash. Well, let's start her up. So let's put the key in there. Starts right up. Now take a look at the steering wheel. You guys can see wood trim here at the top and at the bottom. I actually like that. And then you got like the leather trim all around. And look at this. We have steering wheel buttons. That is fascinating. You would not expect that in a car this old. And then you've got a bunch of stalks here on the back in normal fashion. And then look at the gauge cluster here, all analog, just like it used to be. And you can see the mileage there, just over 130,000 miles on the odometer. But again, simplistic. And speaking of simplistic, this is triple locked. It is a G-Wagon, so you've got a center rear and a front locking differential. And I love how it has the warning still. I don't know if you guys can see that. Warns you not to use that on paved roads. And then this actually has heated seats, 2-stage heated seats. And then you've got this little radio doodad down here. Definitely ancient looking, that's for sure. And you got your climate controls. And by the way, the AC does work. It does actually work. Got a real shifter here for that 5-speed automatic. Got a very interesting brake. Look at this. Do you remember this, guys? I remember this. That's so cool. It's such a throwback. And then, you know, the center console. Looks like they've got like a kind of walkie-talkie built into this. Something interesting. Yeah, interesting. That's set up. But nice trim here on the top nonetheless. You got the G-Wagon grab handle. And it actually has a sunroof. It looks like it's fully automated for all the stuff. And then you got that cloth headliner. Now, current pricing on this is like, I think, check their website. I think it's like 28 grand. So it's less than $30,000. And that's why I'm comparing it to, you know, used Wrangler. So anyways, let's drive it. Well, let's set off in this G500. Here's your visibility, and I've never driven one of these before. So it'll be interesting. And it has this smell that I remember from my grandparents' Cherokees. They bought a couple 90s. So one of them was a Cherokee and one of them was a Grand Cherokee. And this has that, I miss the smell. Like, if you guys have owned cars from the, you know, 90s to early 2000s, you understand the smell that I'm talking about with the leather and the wood and everything. It's just, you don't get that nowadays, right? The modern cars have like a very synthetic smell. And yeah, this is just different. Oh, interesting. There's so many stalks on the steering wheel. So it's like trying to find this turn signal stock's a little bit interesting. But other than that, these seats are so comfortable. So comfortable. And I'm loving this analog stuff. Man, the thing I will say is, since I've been doing these used car reviews recently, it's made me like the older cars more, because they're just, it's just more simple. Just more simple. Like a lot of the stuff they've added to the modern cars, stuff that I just don't care about, I don't use. Like, this is all I need. It's got 4-wheel drive. It's got locking differentials. It's got heated seats. It's actually got more than I need. It's a 2003 too. Be interested to see how one of these drives stock compared to this with a lift. This ain't bad. Oh yeah, you got that V8 power, 5-speed automatic. Kind of reminds me of the Toyota 4Runner with the acceleration, with the 4.0 V8 or 4.0 V8, 4.0 V6. I'm thinking 5.0 V8 because that's what this has. Man, this drives really well. Super smooth. It's super smooth. I was not expecting that. Again, I was thinking, you know, okay, 2024, so this is 20 years old. So I'm a 20-year-old car that's been lifted. It's probably going to drive like crap, but no. It actually drives shockingly well. This is cool. And you know, it's windy today, and we'll see when we get up on the interstate, but it's actually pretty quiet in here. Man, they just don't build them like they used to, folks. They just don't build them like they used to. Yeah, the power on this is actually pretty dang good. I wouldn't call it fast by any means, but I mean, I'm having to let off because of, I mean, this person's towing a bunch of tires, which aren't light, but oh yeah, V8 power. It's a really nice engine. Ah, see, I hit the wrong stock already. Too many stocks. Too many stocks. Okay, so you do get, at these slightly quicker speeds, you do get some wind noise. It exists. And I'm wondering if it, because this one's lifted, it feels like I'm getting kind of, not a massive amount, blowing around a little bit. The thing that's interesting about the suspension is it's actually pretty dang comfortable. Once you go over like modern cars, you go over big compression, they definitely handle it a lot better than this. This kind of has that old school kind of shaky, you're not sure if you're still in control of the car type feel. It's a little bit different. Man, this is hovering at pretty, that's not super low with the RPMs. See, it's just above 2,000 RPMs. Still, it's buttery smooth. Yeah, I mean, it's a windy day, and at higher speeds you do get, you can hear the wind. It's not horrible for a boxy vehicle, but I have to talk louder. This is still a cool rig. Man, this would not be a bad daily driver. Not sure I'd want to drive a lifted one as a daily driver, but you know. Ah, there's the body roll. You gotta go real slow around turns. You can really feel the weight and the center of gravity being high. This is cool. So smooth. Yeah, see what I'm talking about. It's kind of, it's not bad, but you know, modern cars aren't quite as busy over bumps as this is. V8 power! Wow. Such a cool car. So to sum things up and answer the question, should you get a used G-Wagon, do your research. You know, not all G-Wagons are created equal. What I've personally noticed, put my 2 cents in, and this is with every single luxury manufacturer, the non-performance version, so this is a G500, it's not an AMG, tend to do better long-term, right? You look at BMW M cars, you look at Mercedes with AMG, you look at Audi with RS cars, those cars, you know, are cool, but then long-term the reliability seems to be kind of crappy, you know, because they have like cutting edge technology with that, whereas this is super simplistic. This is a body on frame, naturally aspirated V8 SUV, solid axles. It's pretty much as simple as it gets when it comes to tech and all of that. So yeah, that leads to reliability. So yeah, do your research on the model years, but from my understanding, these 5.0 V8 G500s are pretty dang solid. Pretty dang solid. Again, the 5.0 V8, not the most powerful, but I mean, this is by the Great Salt Lake, so we're about 4,200 feet above sea level here, and it feels like more than enough power. Again, similar. It's better than a 4Runner, but it's also kind of similar to a 4Runner in a lot. But it's also lifted. Yeah, it's a cool car. And you know, would I get it over a Wrangler? I think it depends. You know, if it was a JK, yes, 100%. Because the JK has a pretty garbage transmission anyways, with the V6 that's gutless. So yeah, if I was gonna JK, yeah, no doubt, I would get this over a JK. You know, some of the used JLs are getting this price range. That's got the new 8-speed. That's nice transmission. I know that'd be a tougher choice. That would definitely be a tougher choice between the two. But I mean, this is shown to hold up pretty dang well. And I reviewed a used JL that had some miles on it, and it wasn't bad. But you know, it doesn't seem like the Wranglers are, you know, built to last like the G-Wagons. This version of the G-Wagon, at least. So that's kind of my 2 cents on all of that. Really like this car. Kind of want to drive a stock one now, see what that's like, because this could be a pretty, maybe I'm stupid, but this would be a pretty cool car to daily drive, I think. One of these with minimal options. I don't know, like I said, the more cars I review, the more I like stuff like this that's just old school and simple.